Jedi Fallen Order is an amazing game. As many people have said, the mechanics are heavily based off the Soulsborne series, even more than Dark Forces was based off Doom. However, in many ways, it's also reminiscent of the Arkham series. There is an intense focus on mobility, and all of your story upgrades, wall run, force push, force pull, and double jump, are key to exploration. You are required to go back to previously explored areas with your new power to pull vines to swing from or jump just that little bit higher. However, other people have talked about the mechanics to death, so I want to focus on something else. Just how weak you are. What I mean is the game is very low powered compared to other Star Wars video games. To compare, Kyle Katarn killed every Sith Lord he could come across. Revan, the Exile, and your character from the MMO all killed their version of the Emperor. Starkiller pulled a Star Destroyer out of the sky and defeated Vader and Palpatine single-handedly. Even Jaden Korr defeated an ancient Sith spirit. On the other hand, Cal can easily meet his end at the end of a stun baton, and he fights a grand total of 3 lightsaber-wielding opponents in the game. When Darth Vader appears, he's an unstoppable juggernaut that doesn't even have a health bar. However, like both Soulsborne and Arkham, a lot of the enjoyment comes from just how weak you are. You aren't an overpowered master slaughtering pawns who cannot touch you. You are a fairly weak Padawan who has a lot of offensive capabilities, but you are quite vulnerable. You can and will die from 3 or 4 scout troopers surrounding you and beating you with no chance of recovery. This feels far closer to the original movies, as there are no excuses given why you can tank shots that should kill you. You just die, especially on Master and Grandmaster difficulty, where you're practically a one-hit wonder. This is especially interesting as it coincides with another low-powered Star Wars feature, The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian has only one Force user, Baby Yoda, who is obviously a baby. The Mandalorian is a criminal with a lot of gadgets and fancy armor, but he actively struggles in fights with ordinary people. This is a far cry from Luke taking out the entire elite guard of Jabba the Hutt, or Jedi leading entire armies. And let's not even get started on the sequel trilogy. I'm still not going to do a how to fix Rey video because it would involve rewriting everything. To compare, a single ATST is a nearly insurmountable threat to Mando, and even a TIE fighter, the joke ships of all the Empire, is shockingly overpowered when fighting infantry using small arms. We saw a similar view in Rogue One. While it was still a military movie on a military scale, and it did have giant space battles and a pseudo-Jedi, the threats of ordinary characters was still real. Interestingly, the lowest stakes and lowest power out of all 5 of the sequel movies was the one that people liked the most. I'm going to go so far as to say that Fallen Order and Mandalorian are deliberate attempts to reverse the sequel escalation that has occurred in Star Wars, trying to bring things down to a rational level. The fact that they were so well received indicates that we don't need to continually up the power level to be entertaining. Rey does not have to be stronger than Luke or Yoda to be a good protagonist. We don't need to put super lasers on 100 Star Destroyers to make them threatening. We don't need a new threat that is stronger than the New Republic and Empire combined. We had our grand finale in Return of the Jedi. However, both times that they attempted sequels, they ended up making the victory meaningless. This isn't a game of my character is stronger than your character. That's what Death Battle is for. Making a character stronger does not make the story better. That's not how story writing works. There is plenty of space for low-powered stories. And typically those low-powered stories are more creative and interesting because they are low-powered. There are plenty of stories left to tell in a galaxy far, far away. And I hope Disney learns their lesson on this from the success of The Mandalorian and Fallen Order. But we can only hope. And may the Force be with you. Thanks for listening, y'all.